I'm going to jump straight into Gaz's Snippets. Okay, so the Euchre, I can't.
That country that you live in.
Well, yeah, country.
Shh, careful.
Yeah,
careful.
Yeah, you have to be very careful at the moment. Good grief, I'll tell you what. The one good thing is we have the situation.
Are you missing Johnson yet?
Yeah, a lot of people are actually. A lot of people are missing Johnson. The thing is, we all came together as a country when the Queen passed away, and for a funeral, and it was kind of as one. Actually, Liz Truss is doing the same thing. She's bringing us all together to hate her, basically. She's doing a great job of it, I gotta say. Anyway, I'll best move on because we don't.
Well, the thing is, it's like this dichotomy of emotion that's going through the country right now.
I do dad jokes at the end of this podcast often.
Yes,
all
the time.
Well, actually, that's what we are at the moment. We're just one big joke. So anyway, I'll move on. I'm going to get some hate now. The UK Apple Store has already anticipated iPhone 15 launch for 2023. At least one Apple Store in the UK is anticipating an unusually high volume of footfall in the fall holiday period of next year. That's autumn to everybody outside of the States. A time frame that is expected to include the launch of the iPhone 15 lineup. Employees at Apple Milton Keynes. Oh, it's just flipped to another one. Apple Milton Keynes, which is not my closest store. It used to be my closest store, but now it's my second closest store. Has been told that they may not take any leave between September 15th, 2023 and October 7th, 2023. There you go. So that's when we're going to have the release of the iPhone next year.
Yeah, who could have anticipated that?
Nobody, including Apple.
Ever.
Mac growth, the only highlight in a declining PC market, shows IDC report. Who'da thunk it, eh? Who'da thunk it?
40%.
Yeah, it's doing quite well. Well done. You didn't pick that number out of the air either, did you?
I did not. I saw that story.
Very good. Apple has released iOS 16.0.3 with notification fixes, improved camera speed on iPhone 14 Pro. So that's good. Much more, of course, much more. iOS 19.0.2 for Apple Watch fixes microphone bugs, Spotify.
Little tiny bugs about this big. It's just a small watch. It has to be little bugs.
Micro bugs and Spotify interruptions. Actually, I think, did I say it last week? The call from Marcus, was it Marcus? Actually, the sound quality from his Ultra, is it to Marcus that's getting the Ultra?
Yes.
Anyway,
it sounded good.
It sounded really good, really good. I think I did mention it last week. Apparently, Guy, Apple is well past its 2-year goal to transit from Intel to Apple Silicon on its Macs. How's that going? How's that going?
Going really well, actually.
Going really well.
Yeah.
Have you heard?
There's only one machine left.
Well, yes, but they're past the deadline, Guy. That's the point.
Oh.
You don't listen to a word I say, really, do you?
You what?
Just, precisely. Did you hear the Steve Jobs AI interview with Joe Rogan?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And the combination of like AI generated speech and the obvious snippets that the AI had gathered in and was using was really amazing. You could tell at certain points. You could tell at certain points.
You could.
But and of course Joe Rogan, because of he obviously was reading from a script, because it sounded like he was reading from a script, so that the AI would have the right responses. Which honestly, that took more away from it.
Yes.
Than the somewhat weirdness of the AI speech of Steve Jobs.
It did sound quite good.
Yeah, anyway, it did. It was impressive.
I'm glad you heard it. Apple has introduced Ask Apple for developers. A new series of interactive Q&A and one-to-ones provide developers with direct access to Apple experts, not just during WWDC, but pretty much all year round.
Well, good.
I'll tell you something at the end of this as well, because I forgot to mention it last week. I forgot.
Right.
I couldn't mention it because I'd half done the show before I'd done what I'm going to tell you about. But I move away. I digress. Let me get back. I'm interrupting myself. Will you let me finish?
Gas? Will you let yourself finish?
Yes, absolutely. iPhone's calling 911 from owners' pockets on roller coasters. Now, I'm sure you heard about this. Now,
yes.
Now, I heard I heard lots of people talking about it and saying, oh, well, I'm sure that they could geolocate it, so that they don't actually do it. And then I heard a couple of shows say, oh, yeah, but what happens if they fall out of the roller coaster and it doesn't indicate? I'm thinking, you know what? You get somebody fall out of a roller coaster at a theme park. I think that's probably going to be a major issue. You don't have to worry about your phone calling. I think there's a few other people around that might just call the rescue services for you.
Okay. This is what's going to happen, Gaz. Okay. My scenario, you fall out of a roller coaster, hit the ground. Nobody does anything around you because they don't think they have to, because they see your hand raise up with the phone trying to find a satellite that you could call emergency services. No, he's got it covered. We don't have to do anything.
He's got it covered.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, so that's both for the phone and the watch. But come on, folks. Come on, get a grip. You can geolocate it and sort it out. They don't have to worry about falling out and
nobody responding.
He's incredible.
Yeah, somebody at the park is like, can we just move that guy? He's kind of off-putting the other guests.
People are having to step over him now to get into the roller coaster.
It's not right. It's just not right.
Anyway, we'll move on. 87% of American teens own an iPhone. Now, can I just say, 87% of the people they surveyed, although it was a survey of 14,500 American teens.
Okay.
So it's quite a big survey, but even so, it can be sometimes self-selecting, these surveys.
You could do almost any survey of teenagers and find that 87% of them have done something or are in some way.
Well, they're probably going to agree a lot. Anyway. Like, can I move on? Will you let me finish? This is important now. Yes. Just shut up, because of that bit I was querying, right? They go on to say, we are friends, folks, really.
We are.
88%, 88% expect an iPhone to be their next phone. Now, I'm a bit confused by this. Was that a different group of people that they surveyed, and then 88%, or was this 88% of the 87%? Anyway, I'm going to move on.
Well, you know what the retention rate is for people that buy iPhones?
What, about 90% of that, right?
It's about 85, 90%. Yeah. So it's like, wow, another analyst just jumping off the ledge.
Yes,
going, okay.
Yeah, we had analysts over here in the marketplace. I won't go back to that. This story will come back again. Lufthansa says passengers can't use their Apple AirTags to track checked bags. I'm going to come back to that story in a little while, although I'm going to come back to it very quickly, actually, but I'm then going to come back to it again later. Australian Airlines to continue to allow luggage trackers after Lufthansa bans devices. More later. iOS 16 breaks AirPlay support for most content on older Apple TV models. Oh dear, that's not so good. Apple Music is now available on Xbox, Guy. Aren't you pleased?
That was keeping me up at night, Gaz. It really was.
Well, you can see that I've not had a lot of sleep recently.
Thank God that's resolved.
I think that was actually in the back of my mind as well. Apple Card cannot be used. There's been an error forcing users to remove and re-add cards. So if you get an error saying you can't use a card, you've got to take it out and put it back in. I've got a feeling I had this a few weeks ago, actually. So I'm surprised it's taken this long to come up.
So which era? Was it the 70s, the 80s?
It was the 60s.
I'm such an ass. I admit it. Go ahead.
Apple
let you
has
finish.
upped. You don't normally. Apple has upped the education and healthcare benefits. Wait for it, but not for unionized employees. Australian workers are set to strike. That's not a surprise. I think Apple, you might need to just do a little bit more if your ethics need to be at the rate that you want them to be. You keep telling us that you're a really great company and they're a really great company to work for, but you're getting a little bit of bad press at the moment, got to say. Apparently, Apple Card is to offer savings account for daily cash. Apple has announced that Apple Card users will be able to open a new in air quotes, high yield, again in air quotes, saving account from Goldman Sachs and have their daily cash automatically deposited into it with no fees, no minimum deposits, and no minimum balance requirements.
Well, but I can use that with any bank I want, right?
Well, I don't know. I would have hoped so. I would hope so, but maybe not as high yield as you're expecting. Mark Zuckerberg has taken a thinly veiled shot at Apple, implying that Apple's AR slash... Yes, very good. See, it's very good, isn't it?
Because he's not transparent as hell.
Very good. Implying, he's translucent. Oh no, I'd better not go there.
No, that's a good word. Just let me write that one down. Translucently.
Implies Apple's AR VR headset will be very expensive. Oh no, no. I mean, come on, Sherlock.
In a former life, Mark Zuckerberg was a tech analyst.
He certainly isn't at the moment. Apple hit with another fine in Brazil over selling iPhone with a charger. Now, I mentioned this last week, but I'm not sure whether this is another one. So I'm not quite sure whether I had to put it in again or whether this is a repeat of last week's, which it may well be, but I've said it again now anyway. Apple TV Plus gets closer to Hulu in the US, while Amazon Prime Video lost subscribers. So this doesn't mean that Apple's cuddling up to Hulu. What it means is they're getting more subscribers to be closer to the sorts of numbers that Hulu have got. Okay. Lufthansa, right, then agreed, and Apple also put a piece of information out saying, yes, you can use AirTags to track luggage. The point is here, because you go backwards and forwards, can you, can't you, can you, can't. How much advertising has Apple had over AirTags? I mean, basically, this has been Lufthansa completely and utterly promoting the AirTags. Brilliant.
And giving themselves horrible, horrible press.
Well,
good job.
Good job, Lufthansa. I think the only person that's done any worse by some mile is our Prime Minister. No, our Prime Minister.
That's kind of a hopeless case, I think.
It's a hopeless case, yeah. There's no coming back from that one. No. Apple supplier TSMC shares leap after profit beats estimates. So TSMC are doing well, which means they're doing lots of chips for probably, namely, a fruit company. Apple apparently, Guy, wants flexibility over the NFL Sunday ticket streaming rights. Apparently, they are rumored to be a front runner for streaming rights for the NFL Sunday ticket package, but it's been reported that existing restrictions around Sunday tickets have slowed negotiations between Apple and the NFL in recent months.
Well, just like with Amazon's Thursday night games, if you can only watch those games if you subscribe to Amazon or to Apple TV, I think it's a terrible idea.
Apple store in Oklahoma City becomes the second in the US to unionize. I'm moving on very quickly. And I think, did I mention 16.0.2 earlier? No, 16.0.
No, you were talking about 03.
03, and I've got a duplication here, so I won't repeat it. And that, Guy, is the end of Gaz's Snippets.